matters that were not before her and start to make decisions on those matters. The issue of defection was not before the Supreme Court. The issue of defection is still at the High Court. So how did the Supreme Court get those matters into the Supreme Court to make pronouncement on it? Other than that, there were people behind the scene dictating to the Supreme Court what the Supreme Court ought to say. So they have said it. And I think the governor was in a haste to have accepted the judgment.
Asari-Dokubo, that would be, if I may, that would be impugning on the integrity of the Supreme Court. So
yes, I am.
No,
the Supreme Court has no integrity in Nigeria.
No, Alhaji, we will not allow you impugn on the integrity of the Supreme Court. So
if the Supreme Court is wrong, if the Supreme Court is not called.
In your words,
the Supreme Court
this
can just decide that you, as the person interviewing me, you should die. And immediately they go and kill you, they hang you, or you are sent to a firing squad because the Supreme Court said so.
That's why the Supreme
final and nobody can talk when there is glaring corruption.
Alhaji,
in his pronouncement.
Alhaji, yes, I understand what you're saying. I understand where the grievances are. The analogy you gave is not particularly the same. What we're saying is that
the analogy I gave, the same judgment. Was there no same judgment about defection in the case of Plateau State? About 13 or 15 people defected to a different party.
What I'm saying in essence is that you can disagree with the judgment of the Supreme Court, but you have to accept it without impugning on the integrity of the Supreme Court. That's what I'm saying.
I will not accept it. I will not.
This is the Supreme Court we're talking about. So let's.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. That was Alhaji Mujaheed Asari-Dokubo, one of Rivers State and Niger Delta leaders, speaking on a Channels television program on the crisis in Rivers State, and saying that the Supreme Court was unfair to Rivers State and that they dabbled into what they shouldn't have dabbled into, which was not before them. And what he said there, and also his assertion that Simi Fubara, the governor of the state, was in a haste to accept the judgment, that he ought not to have accepted the judgment like that, the way he did. That is one of the things we're going to talk about in this video. Because, to be frank, Governor Fubara is not a lawyer, and he acts based on the advice of his lawyers. Why I'm sympathetic to Simi Fubara in this matter is because remember that if you had listened to his statewide broadcast that he made on Sunday, 2 days after the Friday ruling of the Supreme Court, where he addressed the people of the state, it was a statewide broadcast. He did say that he will implement the Supreme Court judgment, even though he has reservations about the judgment. And he said that his lawyers are yet to get the certified true copy of it, that they promise to make it available to his lawyers. Okay. And he did also mention that he will implement the Supreme Court judgment, despite the fact that the judgment did not include their status, the status of the Proyesowuke lawmakers, whether they defected or not. Okay, but it was when the certified true copy appeared that it was now discovered that the Supreme Court made pronouncement on the defection, which was what Asari-Dokubo was complaining about. That matter was not before the Supreme Court. How did it appear in their pronouncement? Asari-Dokubo was rightfully complaining about that, and the Rise TV guy was trying to shut him down. You can't shut him down. It was a reasonable question, even though Asari-Dokubo is himself not a lawyer. Our lawyers have pointed that out too. That why did the Supreme Court make pronouncement on the defection of the 27 lawmakers when the matter was not before them? Who put it there? How did that enter their judgment? And don't forget that before this judgment was delivered, was released, Timmy Frank, former National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, issued a statement, and nobody has challenged him on that, saying that he had information that they want to alter the judgment of the Supreme Court, that they want to smuggle in this same issue of defection that was not before the court. If he was lying, what have they done to Timmy Frank since he issued that statement? If he was lying, has the Supreme Court challenged him and called Timmy Frank to come and prove that he had information that they want to put in the defection of lawmakers that was not before the Supreme Court? So when Asari-Dokubo was talking here and was saying that the judgment was dictated to them, and the man was the journalist was trying to say that their judgment is, of course, it may be final, but that doesn't mean they cannot be scrutinized. Even Professor Chidi Odinkalo pointed that out, that it was an error, because what the Supreme Court did was to shut down the case at the High Court that was dealing with the issue of defection by dwelling on it and making pronouncement on it. Who does that if not in a banana republic like Nigeria? That's what Asari-Dokubo. I may not agree with Asari-Dokubo in so many things, but this idea he was pointing out, he ought not to be shut down or be told not to continue in that. He ought to continue to pronounce it so that the world will hear. Because I have asked before, people who deliver this kind of judgment, can this kind of judgment stand the test if it were delivered? If other people looking from outside, if an American diplomat in Nigeria look at the judgment that Supreme Court do, can they be able to give visa to the people that deliver this judgment and say yes, they delivered justice, that they are qualified to get American visa to attend any course? Based on this kind of point that Asari-Dokubo was noticing, was pointing out that even legal minds like Professor Chidi Odinkalo had pointed out in his review of that judgment, it's apparent that United States government, the Canadian government, and most Western nations, if they deny them visa, I don't think that Nigerian government has any moral right to complain. Because look at the points that Odinkalo, who is one of the powerful legal minds in this country, have pointed out what Asari-Dokubo was saying. So Asari-Dokubo pointing it out was not an original idea. Top legal minds, senior advocates of Nigeria have also pointed that out. That was the thing that strengthened the pro-Nyesom Wike lawmakers. Today they are doing all kinds of things, rubbishing the governor, trying to show that even that they are the one in charge. They are now stronger than the chief executive of the state. They can lock out the governor. A governor is the chief security officer of the state, chief security officer of River State. In fact, the governor is the chief security officer in the River State House of Assembly quarters. Because if anything goes wrong security-wise, he will be held accountable. Yet, they locked him out just to mess him up, to embarrass him. And they were proud of it because the Supreme Court gave this kind of judgment that made them feel that they are now the Goliath. They can do and undo. And Asari-Dokubo was right to point it out. Professor Dinkalo was right to point it out. And several other legal minds were right to point it out that this was not right. And it was based on some of these things that Asari-Dokubo was saying, look, Fubara was in a haste to accept the judgment. But since they said the Supreme Court is the final court, and Fubara, acting based on the advice of his lawyers, had to accept the Supreme Court judgment. The problem is even that as he wanted to implement the Supreme Court judgment, these guys are doing everything possible to ensure that he doesn't implement it, so that they can go back to their master in Abuja to say, you see, Simi Fubara, he's not ready to implement the Supreme Court judgment. But they were the one that were standing in the wheel of the implementation of that judgment. So I don't know how you feel about this. What do you think about the position of Asari-Dokubo, that indeed this judgment, there are things contained in the judgment that left a lot to be desired, and his assertion that Fubara was in a haste to accept the judgment? What do you think? What could Fubara have done? What could he have done? Because there was tension in the state after the Supreme Court judgment, so he felt the need to address the state and to accept the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment. What could he have done? Would he have waited after getting the CTC, and the CTC also confirmed the worst fears that they have made pronouncement on the defection of the lawmakers? What can he do? He has to accept the implementation based on that and to see how the state can stabilize. So I don't know whether you think Asari-Dokubo was right to blame him for agreeing so fast to accept the judgment, but that's the final judgment, we are told. So what would he have done? Would have waited? The Supreme Court will feel offended that if he didn't implement it and now send a request to them to review their judgment. You know, these people are people of big egos. Even though their faults are being pointed out, I can tell you for free, they may not be happy for that to be pointed out to them without first executing what they have ordered. So I can understand with Simi Fubara, but I don't know what you have to say about this. What do you have to say about the fact that the defection was not in question before them, was not one of the issue before the Supreme Court, yet they dabbled into it as alleged by Timmy Frank, as noticed by Professor Chido Dinkalo and several other top lawyers, and including the Asari-Dokubo. What is your position? Let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.